So let's talk about the new Polaroid Hi-Print 3x3 printer. I did a quick unboxing video of it a few days ago. I'll place it in the card on the screen. Go check it out if you want. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use the printer and the app and give you some of my thoughts on different things I've printed. If you just want to skip through review of the photos, go to the timestamp on the screen. I'll leave timestamps in the description if you want to jump to a particular type of photo. Let's jump in. Using the printer is pretty straightforward. First, you want to make sure you fully charge the printer via the USB-C port, which is located at the bottom of the printer. In case you don't know, the printer doesn't come with the USB-C cable in the box, so you have to use one you already have or go buy one. While you're letting the printer charge, go ahead and download the Polaroid Hi-Print app if you don't already have it. It can be downloaded from both the Apple and Android App Store. Alright, so I'm going to show you real quick how to add your printer cartridge to the printer. It's pretty straightforward. So you want to open the printer cartridge out of the plastic wrap. Then you want to come to the side without the power button. So this side here, open it up, take out the old one if you have one. If you don't, it should be empty. And then you just line it up, slide it in, close it, make sure it snaps in, and then you close it. And there you have it. That's how you add the printer cartridge to the printer. Once your printer is fully charged and the Hi-Print app is downloaded, go ahead and turn on the printer by pressing and holding the button on the printer for about a second. The status light should start blinking, letting you know it's trying to pair. Ensure your Bluetooth is on for your phone and open the Hi-Print app. And when you open it, you should see a little printer icon in the top right hand corner. When you click on it, you may have to update the firmware for the printer. Simply follow the on-screen directions. The first time I tried to update the firmware, nothing happened. The transferring firmware message just stayed on screen for like 5 minutes. I ended up closing out the app and reopening it. I also had turned off the printer, so when I reopened the app, I had to turn the printer back on for the app to try to find the printer to reconnect. And then I had to re-download or try to re-update the firmware. The same firmware message popped up and I was able to update the printer firmware the second time. Now when you do that, you may have to reconnect the printer back to the phone. When you're ready to print something, if you want to print it from your phone, click on the Print from Gallery button and it will take you to your phone's photo gallery. You can select the photo you want to print. So once you click on the image, you have a couple different options. So starting from the top left, you have the back button, and this just takes you back to the Hi-Print home screen. To the far right, you have the print icon. This lets you know whether or not your phone is connected to your printer. And if it's connected to the printer, you'll see a little green icon on the printer. In this case, it's not connected because I'm going to show you guys the gallery. If you go to the bottom left-hand side of the screen, you will see an edit button. And if you click on that, you can further edit your photo. So you can add, some type of stickers. Look at this, hooray, celebration. You can add layers. So let's see, if I want to change the opacity of the sticker, I can do that here. There are different blend modes. You can duplicate a layer. You can push it. If you have multiple maybe items on top of the photo, you can move them around. You can do a lot of different things. You can either click cancel if you want to just cancel it out altogether. You can click the back button to move back to the previous step. And you can click done once you're happy. Now take a second and it'll kind of save the image. It takes you back to kind of the main photo home screen. You can click the add button again if you want to continue editing. You can add text. You got a bunch of different fonts. You can draw on here if you want. You can change like the stroke thickness. You can change the color of the stroke. You can also change the opacity of it. You should be drawing, and then you can hit the little X if you want to cancel, or the check mark if you want to keep it. You can crop the image and move it around if it's not like a full 3x3 size image, which is kind of normal. You can reset the cropping. You can change the orientation by degrees. You can also rotate an image, reset it, or you can flip it so it's the opposite. It looks like you can only flip horizontally and not vertically. But maybe if you rotate the image, you can flip it vertically that way. And so here I hit the cancel button, and because I didn't save the changes I made, it asks me if I want to discard the edits. I'm gonna discard them because I'm keeping it simple. But see, the balloon sticker's still there because that's from another part of the editing process. You click on adjustments, and then you can adjust things like brightness, saturation, contrast, just a bunch of different things, the blacks, the whites, the temperature, and the sharpness of the image. Like old school Instagram, you can add various filters to your image. You can also add some cool effects. You can pixelize. And finally, you can blur. So they have different types of blurs that you can use on this. And also, if you click on the little icon in the middle of a blur, you can change the intensity, the size of the gradient, just kind of hone in the settings for your blur. And I'm pretty sure I wasn't paying attention. You can do that for the filters as well. So pretty much anytime you see the little icon in the middle of an option, you can adjust something about that option. Moving on to the middle of the bottom of the screen, you can change the number of copies of a print that you do. You can do up to 5 at a time. So we'll switch to when I was actually printing from the app. Once you hit the print button, you'll then see that it is sending the image to the printer to print. You'll see a little status icon at the bottom. It'll start printing, and it'll go through, technically, I guess, 5 stages. So 1, it'll prepare to print the photo. Then it'll print in yellow. Then it'll print in magenta. Then it'll print in cyan. And then finally, it'll print its protective layer to protect the image. And once it is finished printing, you'll see a notification on your screen that your print is finished. And you can now remove the print from the printer. All right, you now know how to use a printer and the app. Let's look at some photos. So I printed a variety of different types of photos. Some of the photos are pictures of people, some of them are things, locations, yada yada yada. So we're just gonna go over them. So this is one of the first pictures I printed. It is a picture of a buoy in the southernmost point of the US. This is out in Key West. So as you can see, you can't necessarily see a lot of the sky, like the blueness of the sky. Let me show you guys what it looks like. So this is what it looks like digitally, and then this is kind of the comparison photo here. Like I said, it is not as blue, or the blue isn't as visible in the sky here as it is on the digital photo. Also, I think the photo is kind of soft here. It's just not as crisp as I would like, but overall it's not bad for, you know, a quick, simple 3x3 printer. I also decided to print some of the graphics. So this is one of the kind of graphic options in the app, and I just printed it with, you know, the date and the day of the week, and then some colors around the border. Again, still a little soft around some of the edges, but the coloring isn't bad. I wish the black was a little more black, like a little deeper, more vibrant black, but again, it's not bad. I'm trying to get it so you guys can see. The next print I want to share is of a more challenging kind of lighting situation. So this is like nighttime, it's like dark outside. You got some neon lights here, kind of the rest is pitch black. And then you can also still kind of see some of the blue that comes off from the neon lights. So I do like that it does capture that a bit. It's not as strong as in the digital version of this photo, but it's still not bad for what it is. And then another challenging kind of like situation, we went to this cool pop-up where this thing here is like a giant speaker. Some great music, really cool. But anyways, again, a more challenging lighting situation. So you've got like lights here, and then you got like a lot of darkness, and then some more lights and smoke. And I think it does a decent job of like catching the detail in the smoke and kind of seeing some of the detail in the cloud-like thing here. You can see, you know, some of the darker places. Like I said, the lighting isn't horrible. It's not the best, most clearest thing ever, but definitely not bad for a simple printer. So this photo is a picture taken on film. So I think this was taken, don't even let me lie to you, it's taken with film. It's either like a Fujifilm 400 or maybe a Kodak Gold, but regardless, this is a print of a film strip negative that was digitized, if that makes sense. So I think it does a pretty good job. I like the coloring here. I think the details are pretty good. Again, for the type of printer it is, I think it does a pretty decent job with this. Up next is a black and white photo. And so here you can kind of see, I think it does a good job with the details in the black and white. I think it is maybe more grayscale than like pure black and white, which is fine with me. I do like this, it doesn't have like a bluish tint or like a brownish, like sepia tint for the black and white. I think it does a good job of producing, like I said, a grayscale-ish black and white photo. I think the details are pretty good. You can still see some of the spacing between the bench plats, so I think that is nice. It keeps it from being just like one big solid black blob. So this is one of the collages, or like the collage options that is in the app. And so this was actually the last photo I printed from like the 10 that comes in the pack. And so I feel like the colors faded a little bit near the end. Like I don't feel like they're as vibrant as say the colors here. And I think it's just not as like solid inside. And again, I think that may be partially due to the fact that this was the last print available for the cartridge, and so like the last little bit of ink. But still, I like the collage. I think it does a good job. The colors, you know, look pretty true to life. So I think, again, it's pretty good. Okay, so the next set of photos I'm gonna look at is kind of the big thing for me, and that is looking at the skin tone of the photos. And so let's look at the first one I printed. So this photo is from an Insta360 Ace Pro 2, and I've actually had what I think are decent results with the Insta360 printer as far as skin tones go. So when I printed this, I initially thought, okay, you know, the skin coloring isn't bad here. I do look real light right here, but I think it's because I'm closer to the camera here than I'm here, so like my face is a little bit in the shadow, and it's just trying to compensate for like all the brightness and everything. But anyways, overall, I think it did decent on the skin tone. And so part of me is like, well, I wonder, is it just that the camera does a better job of capturing darker skin tones, and that's why I print it better? So I was like, okay, cool, let's see what else I have. And so here's another picture, and I think it is great for skin tone. I think it looks like my skin tone and like my sister's skin tone. I didn't have to change any settings. This is literally just kind of out of the camera. So this was taken with my phone, a Galaxy 25 Ultra, or Galaxy Ultra 25, whatever it's called. But yeah, I think it does a good job of like capturing the brown without looking too orangish, and it doesn't like overly sharpen the image. And then finally, I wanted to print an older photo taken with my iPhone, and this has like black people of different darkness levels, if that makes sense, or it has like different, you know, levels of melanin. And so here again, I think it does a good job of capturing different skin tones. Like you have some of us who are a little darker, and then you have a couple people who are lighter, but again, no one looks overly orange or like overly sharpened. I think it does a great job of just printing skin tone that looks like it should look. So I was pleasantly surprised because, so for example, here is one previous photo, and here I think it looks too orange and it's too, I remember I had to like decrease the sharpening on this image, but like compared to this image, hopefully you guys can kind of see the difference in the skin tones and why to me this one looks more like natural than this one here. And then here's kind of another example. So again, his skin tone looks really, really like bluish almost. And I'm not sure why. Like, it's just a regular, phone picture. And it looks more blue, almost like a grayish color, as opposed to just, a natural brown. And like I mentioned in the unboxing video, this is a photo frame. So if you take off the top, remove the little piece here, you can add your photo and then, lock the cover back in place. And now you have your photo kind of on display. So I thought that was a very cool addition to this printer. But overall, I am actually pretty happy with this printer. I did not have high hopes for how it would print darker skin tones, but I think it actually does a pretty decent job. So I plan to probably use this as part of my journaling setup. I usually do smaller 2x3 prints, but I do generally like bigger prints, so it will be nice to be able to, put slightly bigger prints into my travel journal along with the 2x3s. I think it is, a very easy to use printer. It's pretty straightforward. They have a lot of different collage options and just things you can do with your prints to have fun with them. I think it does a good job of printing black and white, printing darker skin tones. I do wish the details were more defined and not as soft as like some of the edges here. But again, it's, a 3x3 dye sublimation printer. It's not, a full super duper high spec photo printer. So for what it is, I think it does a good job. Another thing I wish for this printer and the print paper was that it was the sticker version like with the Hi-Print 2x3. So this is just regular photo paper. So you have to use like a glue stick or tape or whatever if you want to like attach this to some type of paper for journaling. But it's not, the end of the world or that big of a deal. But would I recommend this if you are looking for a larger printer than like a 2x3, but not necessarily a full 4x6 or 5x7, I definitely recommend checking this one out. I think it does, like I said, a pretty good job. You could also look at an Instax, maybe square printer, if you're looking for slightly larger prints than a standard 2x3, but again, not huge, but for kind of the dye sublimation, quick print, portable printers, I definitely think this one is in the running. Again, if you want super sharp details, maybe not, some of the edging is a bit softer than I would like, but I still think it does a good job. Does a decent job with converting what you see in low light onto the photo paper. It does what I think is a decent job for darker skin tones. It can print digitized film decently as well. So definitely check it out. But let me know you guys' thoughts on the printer and the prints I've printed. Do you want to see any other types of prints? Maybe I can put them, in a community post just so you guys can see some side-by-side comparisons. You know what? I think that's what I'll do. I will put the scan version of the photos and like the digital versions, and I'll put some in a community post so you can like actually sit and look at them if you want to. But as always, leave some comments below. Let me know what you think. And until next time, keep practicing, keep having fun, and I'll see you in the next video.